Kyle Hermans, good to see you again, my friend.
Good to see you too, Mr. Kent. Here we are.
We are
It's
indeed.
end of 2020 almost.
I don't even know what happened. It's not. It's a lie.
Blink, blink, we blink, blink, and a year goes by.
Yeah.
So this is welcome everybody to Digitize and Unlock Your Digital Potential. Thank you for being with us this entire year. As you know, this show kicked off the beginning of this year, right coming into the beginning of COVID. We figured let's get together and start to bring the joy, bring the knowledge, bring our perspective, bring our on the ground learnings to all of you in a really powerful format, which is in the form of shows, in the form of tutorials, in the form of educational sound bites. And here we are at the end of 2020, and we've done 3 seasons. And there's probably 80 something different videos on the Digitized channel, which are all there to design to help you. And I can't even remember doing any of it.
Well, look, man, this is season 3, episode 8. We said for season 3 we would do 8 episodes, so we're wrapping it here. This particular one, Kyle, in the pre-show, we were talking about what did 2020 teach us, basically, is kind of what you and I were riffing on a little bit before the show. And I think there might be a million things. But when I look back over 2 seasons of shows, and I think of all the things we learned along the way, not just in 2020, but we started this even a little bit further back. And I mean, it's so much. There's just no way to count. And I mean, I've even had major breakthroughs in live streaming in the last week. And then there's major new software that's come out, and the acceptance of this is huge now. When we started, we were thinking, oh yeah, we'll make a live stream. There's not that many people that do that. We'll really be able to stand out. But now it's just like, unless you're juggling, wands of fire and singing in a perfect voice with all the accoutrements and backup dancers and all this thing. It's good luck. Good luck getting those. 2020 has taught me that we're just going to have to work even harder. But tell us what you have in mind. I still have to fiddle a little bit with some of the live stream stuff
Absolutely.
while you get us going, and then I'll be able to fully engage. If everybody out there doesn't know, I'm sort of backstage engineering the show. Kyle's over in his own studio. I'm in my studio. We're not actually sitting right next to each other. See, look, you can sort of break the illusion a little bit when you stick your arms out. But
Right.
we didn't even plan to wear the same shirt today. He pointed out, though, he has long sleeves and I have short sleeves, so it's fine.
It's a differentiation.
And
Kent
so
has a bit more hair than I do.
yeah, just still a little bit, not for long. It doesn't seem like it's not for long. My children never cease to stop reminding me of that fact for some reason. But they're just cruel, those little guys. But anyways, over to you, Kyle. While we get going, I'll tidy up the last little bits here of being live, and we're just live on YouTube today. YouTube's where we started. YouTube's where we're going to wind up, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. So again, welcome everybody. It's been an incredible year, and thank you so much for the support. Thank you to all the subscribers. Thank you to everybody that has been reposting, sharing this content on their different social platforms. Thank you to everybody that has been communicating with us, letting us know how you've been using all the tools and techniques and methodologies and ideas and ranting that we do sometimes here about the future and about digital. But we really appreciate the feedback. We've really appreciated getting to know a lot of different folk through this medium, and we've also really appreciated everybody that's given us the opportunity to be a service provider to you as well in your worlds, bringing you digital transformation, bringing you digital capabilities as we've all had to ramp up through this year. So the goal for the show, just really quick high level, is what did we learn in 2020 and what are some predictions for 2021? And then just giving you a little bit of a flavor about where we'd like to take this show in 2021 as well. So in terms of 2020 predictions, it's not just things that have happened in this show, but what's happened in the world. And I know some of this may be obvious for everybody, but what we've been learning is not everyone has had a moment to pause and really reflect on what they've learned, what they've acquired, the types of transformations and adjustments they've made, and how much digital potential you've actually already unlocked this year, whether you like it or not. So in terms of 2020 and 2020 learnings, let's dive in. Do you have any top of mind, Kent? Do you want me to kind of fire into to something, or
Oh
do you want
my
me to kick us off?
gosh. Oh my gosh. I've had to completely relearn what it means to be a parent this year.
Hmm.
I've had to relearn I've always had a lot of grit and self motivation. I'm not lazy. I don't know. I've just always worked hard since I was a kid, and but I've had to double down. I've had to really relearn what it means to have grit and have that sort of self motivation, because there are days where you just don't want to do the show, or you just don't want to log on the Zoom call, or and I've been virtual longer than most people you probably know, because I went, as you remember, I went virtual toward the literally Jan 1 2015. It was a moment I designed. It was a moment I designed. But even that, I've had to learn how to endure 16 hours of Zoom calls sometimes. And I'm not joking. Like, that happens some days.
Yeah.
Um, I, I had to learn how to quarantine my groceries. 'Cause, and wash everything like twice. Get used to wearing a mask. Gosh, it just goes on and on, and that's just sort of like the top of mind, the light stuff, the life stuff. Work is different now. Even though for me, I said it was virtual always. Now it's different because everybody's virtual. And boy, I've had to learn how to manage client expectations in a whole new way. We both have consulting and coaching practices. Aside from this show, we're both entrepreneurs. We have employees. We have businesses. I've had to learn how to be a better mentor and advisor and listener many times. Just listening is all it takes. Yeah, man, that's just a laundry list there, but
Yeah.
that's
It's
what was on the
huge.
top of my mind.
It's amazing. What an amazing list as well. And I second so many of those things, because you and I have talked about a lot about that. We've made some shows about some of those things as well, and some tips and techniques and methodologies. So please look back through season 1 and 2 for anybody that is still trying to grapple and grasp, or is in denial about the digital transformations that are happening in the world. There's a lot of really great content, very human in our approach, very honest in our opinions. Very direct, and really most of the content that you'll see on this channel is like a conversation. If we were sitting down having a cup of coffee together or having a beer together, just talking this stuff through, which is how Kent and I first got to meet. It's what we do. It's how we bring our knowledge across to the world. But for me, Kent, just building on a few things that you said, was I think some of the biggest things is this idea that the biggest thing I've learned this year for me is the level of impact we can make digitally. And if I was trying to run some metrics and numbers for us, I would imagine between you and me and our businesses, we've probably been in front of hundreds of thousands of people this year across more than 40 countries at least. And we've been able to meet and connect with human beings that there's no physical way our human bodies or minds would have been able to deal with that level of air travel, time zone change, time away from family. But what we've been able to do is connect to so many human beings just from our home office. Of course, it never beats the in-person and being able to shake a hand and see someone directly in the eyes. But what has been very interesting this year is just to see the development. If I think about some of the platforms we were using and some of the ones that you discovered and found in beta mode in January or just end of last year to Feb, which are now valuated at billions of dollars, some of these companies, because of the skyrocketing acceptance of them, just because January, they didn't know if they were going to have a business 6 months later. Now they are valued at some of the fastest growing companies on the planet.
Of all time.
Just because
of all
time, because of what has happened in terms of the migration to digital, and the idea we've been able to learn about how to produce and basically digitize both our businesses. I know you were definitely ahead of the game on that, but we've both learned a lot around how to digitize ourselves, duplicate ourselves and spread ourselves around the world, how to take our businesses and offer tangible analog in-person services in a digital realm. We've been able to rethink how we produce assets. We've been able to streamline our businesses, make it more effective, democratize, demonetize, distribute. We've also been able to train and mentor thousands of people in how to think differently and to get their mindset right for this year and be able to mentor them through some very difficult moments. We've helped navigate and migrate our families to find the balance between the physical world and the digital world, and just watching the kids, how they've had to take to new schooling, new socialization. The teachers, bless all those teachers and everybody that's working their butts off to still produce services and values to everyone around the world, and have had to migrate really quickly to this type of environment. And I think there's something very interesting. It's still only scratching the surface. It's in such an infancy. But if I just think about, we still got roof over our heads, we still have jobs, we still are able to provide for our families, we're still able to mentor each other. We've met thousands of new people this year. We've been able to be in places we never thought that we would be in, or let alone get to. And I really, as much as this has been an insane year, and blessings to over the 250,000 people who have lost their lives during this pandemic, but also the millions of people who have really suffered through this. I think that the other thing that I've learned is that we're all, as human species, incredibly resilient, incredibly creative, and incredibly adaptable. And if we can start applying that energy even more to solve this particular size of challenge, imagine the kinds of challenges that we could start to focus on. And I've been very inspired by what my company's doing, but also what your company's been doing, Kent, that through this year, it's really helped us eliminate what isn't necessary anymore. And it's started to bring into clear focus what is necessary. And what is necessary is to solve things far bigger than us that help the rest of us. And so I'm so excited for 2021. We've learned a lot. It's been exhausting. As you coined several months ago, time zone lag is the new jet lag that I like to spread around. But
I'm about 5 hours off right now because of all that happened in the last.
We all need a vacation.
I didn't even know what I did. Okay. Lena. Hi, Lena, if you're out there watching us.
Hey, Lena.
We love Lena. But Lena told me in response, I was like, I got a little tired at the end of a show the other day and I hit a wrong button and I cut away too early from a video. Okay. And it was embarrassing, and I was embarrassed. But at the same time, I was just like, yeah, I just got a little tired in that last hour of the show. And Lena comes back and she goes, yeah, Kent, you did 6 live shows in 11 days. And what she didn't know is I'd also given 3 presentations live in other countries from my studio. Yeah. So in 11 days. And that's on, and I'm not bragging here, folks. I'm just saying, like, I feel like I'm bragging. I'm a terrible bragger. I never brag properly about myself. But the reality is that that's on top of the normal work. That's on top of the family. That's on top of everything else. And I didn't realize it until I accidentally hit that space bar that I was tired. And today I've lost my razor. I can't find my shaving cream. And I rolled out of bed at 4:30 because I'm time zone lagged. I'm not jet lagged. I'm time zone lagged. My body has no idea what time it is. And I cannot. So tonight I'm going to do the thing that I used to do when I would get home from a trip. I'm going to stay awake till 10:30 or 11. I'm probably going to take a melatonin around 10 and hope that gets me a little bit back on. So I'll probably have to do that 2 nights in a row, and then I'll be back in. And of course, when you do that, you stay away from alcohol, you drink plenty of water, and all that stuff. And I should be able to get myself back on track. But boy, I tell you, this is some of the worst jet lag I've ever had right now, today. And it's because of what I just described. So to your point, the fact that I could even do that at all, irregardless of the fact that, oh, I'm sorry, it made Kent tired, is, wow, look what I did. And you mentioned 40 countries. No, one of the companies and communities I'm on, 129 countries. Typical Zoom call will have between 80 and 90 countries, 49 languages spoken in that community. And last Saturday, we ran an event. And that event, for the first time ever, was live streamed in 4 languages simultaneously in real time to multiple stream destinations. Okay? wow. This is not sponsored. This is not a plug. I'm not even going to mention how we did it yet. But the point is, we streamed English floor language, Hindi, Chinese, and Spanish. So 4 languages in real time with live interactive venue with a real time stream out there on the internet. The stream got 10x the views of the interactive venue, which is a very interesting point all on its own that we could talk about. And so if you want scale, right, don't put up barriers. That's what the message is there. That's the lesson. And I'm just so proud of the team. There were 23 people that were involved in making that happen, that 4.5 hour, 5 hour event. And we did it, by the way, to serve parents. This was not an enterprise event. Most of my events tend to be enterprise focused. This wasn't about that at all. This was just about people like you, Kyle, people like me. And the content was for parents. The activities were for the kids. Mm-hmm. So they could put the kids in a breakout room and pay attention to the show. That kind of stuff we set up for them. And we've already been contacted. This is a little good news, right? We've been contacted by someone who wants to take us into, potentially take that show format, that content, translated into translated into many different languages, into 100 different countries, adding a specific type of content in because it was just a powerful modality. Hasn't happened yet, may not happen, time will tell. It's a lead, but I'm excited about it because that's the point. The point of all of this technology, the point of us starting Digitize Live, the point of the investment we've made in terms of money and time and effort and sacrifices is to get messages out to more people that matter when they're relevant. And right now, those parents needed that information. And so we were able to find a channel to do that. And now we might get an opportunity as a result of that to get it to a much larger scale. That's awesome. Never possible before 2020. Never possible before 2020, even with the same tech stack, even with the same people. Times have changed.
It's amazing. Congratulations. Just congratulations on all of it. It's just, I was reflecting that I've got a couple extra keynotes to do this year that will probably take me up to close to 50 in the year, just in terms of talks and joining mastermind groups and going into organizations and realizing that something that you just mentioned, this idea of resilience and determination and keeping driving forward, I think there's something for 2021, which is we have to manage the balance of our mental fatigue and obviously our energy and our health and fitness and vitality, hydration, nutrition, sleep, all those kinds of things. But something that you just said sparked a huge thing that I want to share with everybody that's watching this, which is you have an opportunity to step into the rest of this year, which is, 4 or 5 weeks, and into 2021 to really think about the year you want to have. Just imagine that all the current situations are going to remain for another 12 to 20 months. If it changes, amazing. What a bonus. But if you had to think about it's going to be more of the same. In fact, it might get even a little tighter. We might get even more restricted. As the shift of government comes in, as the COVID is increasing around the world, we're probably going to have to quarantine tighter. Now, what that usually means is that our minds start to restrict the same way that our lives do. If we can't leave a room, our thinking can restrict. The invitation here is to expand your thinking. The more that you have to stay locked down, the more free your mind. Let your mind go. Watch back through the shows. There are so many different tools and techniques to get you there. But what Ken just described, 129 countries, 49 languages, I think it was. The ability to do that, the ability to think about what possibility is, the ability to create a business, the ability to get online and produce content, the ability to spread your message, to get your awareness out. I've spent more time this year, and our company has spent more time, probably the same as you, Ken, in emerging economies and emerging markets than the first world markets. I don't mean we've just been in Europe and London and Germany. We've done those too, but we've been in, Turkey, Latin America, out in some of the craziest places where countries who have been suffering deeply are now getting a foot in the door because the playing field is equaled.
You know,
They are dreaming big and magnifying their mindset. This is one of the biggest things that I would say for 2021 is we just got to go bigger and dream bolder. So go ahead, Ken.
I just have to +1 on the in other
Yeah.
places, because we had an opportunity to help and to be a part of a thing in Iraq. Okay, and that's pretty inaccessible to me otherwise, in a variety of ways. And in oh my gosh, what was the name of the place? It's not there. But it was another country that, frankly, probably I had never even thought about much. And I got an opportunity to help them build a meaningful business for themselves based on a particular innovation framework. And that's just awesome. Like, to bring economic well-being into a place remotely from this studio out there. I mean, this is my MTP is to empower people with technology, and I can't imagine a better example. It didn't pay me a dime,
That's right.
okay, directly, but it paid me so much in return. I've got new friends in places I didn't even know existed. That's fantastic. I can't. That's worth a lot.
So powerful. It's so powerful. And so as we think about 2021, we've learned a lot. We'd love to hear from you. What are three of your three biggest learnings? Put it in the chat stream, email us, hit us up, let us know. What are your biggest learnings from a digital world? But I think the predictions for 2021 are a little more of the same. But at the same time, I think that tech integration and convergence is going to increase. Platforms are going to come together. You're now seeing something like Zoom is taking the best pieces of seeing where the trends are with people, marketplaces, event companies, AR, VR, in terms of how we use our interfaces and all these wonderful things that we get to do. There's going to be more of those integrations. There's also going to be more companies popping up to make really complicated production accessible. Look at that showed up this year. They just popped up and they also skyrocketed. And really simple applications. You saw that Zoom is now doing what Kent and I are doing is you can now minimize yourself, put yourself behind screens. It's creating a lot of different features. There's new platforms and new event companies popping up so that you can host things. Kent just recently discovered a really great music platform that's solving for latency for any music productions and music producers. So we're getting mastery of internet, we're getting mastery of speed. We've got 5G coming in even faster. We've got all the different satellite companies who are producing internet from space back down to earth that are launching. We've got a lot that is going to happen in the next year where speeds of internet will increase, accessibility of internets are going to increase, the computing power is going to increase, our convergence where all these engineers and scientists, there we go, like all these scientists and engineers are coming together to solve radical challenges so that we can get online and that we can start to interact more. And look out for AR and VR really hitting home. Lenses, filters. We can start to create characters and all these amazing things. There's going to be a lot going on. But for anybody else that's out looking to expand e-commerce or go digital, there are a lot of new emerging economies around the world. Your customer base is no longer just in your local town or your country. It is global. Now, the thing that's really important, if you can support local, really do support local. Like, support local, buy your products locally, because people are starting to create more businesses locally. There's, pop-ups, whether it's homemade foods and jams and clothing and certain kinds of cares and services, they are localizing, which is so important while we're able to do our global work. So with some of the predictions that are coming up for 2021, our role in this is going to continue to bring you insights, continue to empower you, to continue to bring you the latest techniques and tools, the best platforms. We're experimenting with this all the time. Next year, for both Kent and myself, it is going to be ridiculously busy. If we thought this year was busy, Kent, remember those tips that we gave in one of our videos earlier in the year, which was like, if you want to think about scale, we talked about 10x earlier in the year, was think about doing 3 times more than you did this year. Like, what would you need to do to be able to create 3 times more output or even 10 times more output and still be able to have balance in life. I think that people are thinking about that, and they're starting to create efficiencies and structures and automation that allows us to live the life we want, but also create it accessible. So what we're going to do is make sure we bring you the very best tools, and we're going to bring in speakers. We're going to bring in, experts in different fields throughout the seasons for next year as well to bring you the best tools. But the biggest thing that I think is important as a prediction for 2021 is I don't think that we dream big enough this year. I think we can go even bigger. I think if you sat and reflected and said, whew, the opportunities I had, yes, I was surviving. Yes, I was just trying to figure it out. Yes, I was trying to understand what was going on in real time. But imagine if I go into that knowing that some of these things are going to be the same. Now, what could I do with this? What could I create? What could I make? What could I build? What could I, help support? What community could I get into? What network could I join? What could I put out into the world that could impact not just the people that I think it will impact, which are the ones that know me locally, but just think about this: 129 countries, 49 languages, tens of thousands of human beings. That's what's available to you if that's where you want to put your heart. So those are a few thoughts for me. Kent, I'm sure you've got lots of amazing things to add to that. Like, where do you see 2021 going? What would you like to tell the listeners and viewers to be thinking about as they're going into the next year?
Well, I think the thing that strikes me the most is that more people are now online and capable of leveraging online in a variety of ways that it goes far beyond, I can click on a link and buy something at Amazon, right? I mean, we can now use these tools for creation of content, delivery of content, human connections, really driving change all over the world. And I think it's not hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of people. I think it's billions. When we started, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I have to go check the numbers again. I haven't checked for a little while, but let's just say there were about 5.5 billion or so, 5.5 to 6 billion people online. The rest are coming online now. We thought this was going to take 10, 15, 20 more years. It's going to be like kind of now. So there are going to be about 2 billion more human beings coming online with greater capabilities than any human beings that have ever existed to leverage the mediums in which we have, that the internet has made possible, the web has made possible, and now all the things we're using it for are now possible, as well as a mindset shift.
Yes.
This is the key. A mindset shift that I can do it, right? Like, whoever you are, right? I can do it. Sort of a big pep talk today. And the thing is that everything that you've ever seen us do on this show, if you thought it was cool or interesting or funny, you can do all of those things yourself. I showed quickly that software that Kyle was talking about. If you're in a band, I showed a piece of software called Jack Trip that can allow you to jam with your bandmates. Kyle, you got to try that thing. It works.
We're on it. We've already sent it over.
And it works. And so you couldn't do that before. We tried earlier in the year. We tried all different technologies. None of it worked. There was issues. Jack Trip fixed it. So what do I predict? I predict more of that. More Jack Trips, more more Zoom features that bring all of the stuff from Jack Trip, and you're going to have all those features inside Zoom at some point.
Yeah.
Because Zoom's going to embrace and extend all of this new technology. The people that you deal with will no longer think it's strange to meet with you over a video chat. I mean, even now, even today, I often will get on a video chat. People won't turn on their camera, and I'm like, "Hi, I've got my camera on. Are you going to turn yours on?" And just they're like, "Woo, yeah." But that's going to go away. That stigma of not wanting to be on the video chat is going to go away, and so will There's two sides to this piece I'm going to say here, and I think I riffed with you about this yesterday. That's on a one-to-one basis. I'm going to be much more forgiving of you if, like, your child runs by or your hair's messed up. Well, sorry, Kyle, but you know what I mean.
I just shifted it off.
That was wrong example here.
That's great.
But the point is, like, we will forgive one another and know that we're human. Okay. Now, there's a flip side to this, and I'm noticing this. This is a warning signal. Companies are now adjusting to what they're beginning to think of as the new normal, and they're going out and they're now acting as if the pandemic's over, everything's back to normal, but the new expectations are 10 times what they were for the use of virtual by the people who are engaging with them over these virtual modalities than it was a year ago. The expectations are 10 times higher, yet the price that they're willing to pay has gone down, and the expectations are 10 times more, and yet we still have our children running around. We still have the interruptions. We still have a faulty internet connection from time to time that takes you offline and you can't get back in, and then the project falls behind. I mean, so there's this skyrocketing set of expectations now based on what we've all observed. And yeah, frankly, you and I are probably guilty for setting some of those expectations in some places. And now we have to sort of reap what we sow. But at the same time, there's going to continue to be this balancing act that we go through. And I think the key thing that we can do is be honest and clear and transparent in our dealings, our negotiations with one another around these things. It's like, look, yeah, my kid might run by. The internet might go down, and that's like, we just have to deal with those things, and I can't blame you if your internet goes offline. Do you have any power over that? Really, no. You can do the best you can. Like, I've got 2 connections. I have a backup. I can switch the cables. The second one's not nearly as powerful though. This show we're broadcasting right now in 1440p, and we're both sending out a 1080p feed into a 1440p broadcast, which gives us way too much resolution for our faces and no makeup or anything. But the reality is that we're also going to have to be empathetic, and we're going to have to listen to people and continue to learn how to, frankly, be more human in what some people would say is a less human modality of interaction. And that's a deep challenge that we face in 2020 and beyond. Because this won't go away. I definitely predict hybrid events. I don't predict a full return to virtual, a physical, and then all the virtual goes away. And so many companies are going to go out of business, Kyle. Entire modes of doing businesses are failing, have failed, will continue to fail. Sucks, but new ones are coming up in their place.
That's right.
And so I would say we have to be agile. We have to be willing to change and shift our mindsets. But that's going to happen. It doesn't matter if I want it to or not. I'm subject to it just like everybody else. I went to Safeway. We're experiencing a surge in COVID again. I went to Safeway, wanted toilet paper, which has been fine for months. There's no toilet paper at Safeway. Again, people are hoarding again, right? So we have to be prepared for more of that. Yeah, and let's just help each other. I mean, that would be. I'm done. I'm just gonna leave on this note, and then we'll wrap. Kyle, anything else you want to add? But let's just be willing to help each other out. That is my request of anyone who sees this going out of 2020 and into 2021. And as we prepare for season 4, we're going to try to find new ways and better ways to help with this medium. The people who take the time to join us here. So thank you, everybody. We're closing the year with about 155 subscribers. I'm super proud of that number, and I can't wait to get the 156th out there. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to go out and keep trying to help people, and I know that's going to circle back in a right way.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. Well said, man. Well said. Well said. So keep this faith. For those of you from a timestamp perspective, happy Thanksgiving. We are very grateful to everybody that has supported the show throughout the year, to everybody that has applied the techniques and come back to us and shown us just the wonderful impact that they're making too. We're excited for 2021. And just remember, as Ken said, stay agile, keep supporting each other. We're going to get through all of these things together. And what we have to start doing is thinking of better ways. We just have to start thinking of better ways constantly and allow ourselves to go out and try it. And if anybody needs any support, if anybody needs any extra information from us, if anyone's got extra questions or wants to go deep, please do get in touch with us. Please do get in touch with us. And from that, Ken, it's been a phenomenal year. And it's so crazy to think that I think we saw each other once or twice earlier this year before this kicked. But pretty much for the whole year, we have run all the business stuff that we've done together, all our companies, all our shows have been 100% virtual. It's been 100% virtual. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in person again, brother, hopefully soon.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully.
and that's going to be a great one. And maybe one day, maybe in 2021, our goal will be to do a show together where we're in the same room. Imagine that.
There may be vaccines coming, so we shall see.
Maybe vaccines
right?
coming.
Yeah. Trying to get my camera to refocus. I don't know what happened there.
It's good. The camera's even saying it's time for a break.
It's actually not the camera, guys. It's just me. I'm like going out of focus. All right. Let's wrap this thing up, Kyle. Wonderful season. Wonderful doing this again with you in this third season, Kyle. I wouldn't want to do it with anybody else. And so let's just keep the ball rolling.
Keep it rolling. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate all the work you're doing, and congratulations on all that success. All right, friends, stay well. And remember, everybody has a digital version of themselves waiting to come out. And this is the show where you get to unlock your digital potential. This is Digitized, and we will see you again in 2021.
Take care.